Okay, so now that I know we have hard drive space, recording has started, everything's good. Even the look of things. It's also ironic, both Mutanite and Splooge didn't show up today for the thing that we were going to, or that we usually do. But we're also sort of done with the thing that we usually do, but last time we still did it for fun. I don't know. It's fine. Is that a creature? Or is that just a rock outcropping? I have a small bug in my room. That is very annoying. It's like, hey, screen light. Just floating there. Alright, so this is the image of a man. It's literally hill figure. We may find more of the oh. I must be talking about over here. Oh, my nose is itchy. Hey, there's a cave.
Him who knows that I know what he seeks to know, knows it well, while he who knows not what I know, or know not.
What? Don't look at me, man. He's making me glow. Oh.
You see me, yes? Then congratulations on you. You have found the man you seek. I am, or was, perhaps like you, a child of man, bound to the dragon. Well met, young Arisen. I am he who was forged by the dragon.
What do my companions think of all this? Oh, there they are. They just kind of showed up. Most of them. I think I'm still missing one somehow. Okay.
We finally arrived.
We did. We did finally arrive. Hi, friend.
Well met, Arisen of the present day. New forged link in the grand chain.
Thank you, I think.
You have come seeking meaning for that slate and the words it bears. There is none.
Yep, that sounds about right.
None, save that it brought you here to me.
Fair enough.
My form can be discerned only by the true Arisen. I am the Dragon Forged.
You do look like you have a little bit of a hard time grabbing stuff. And wearing white does not seem like a good choice when your hands are pretty much burnt and made of charcoal. Just saying. Just saying.
Go now. Tell him that gave you the cipher of what you have heard here.
What? Report my findings. Well, that was absurdly stupid.
Interesting.
What, you're stealing stuff from the weird guy. Why? Who? Hey, I got some stuff for your hands and skin. It may help you moisturize a little. No? I take your helmet? No? I'm gonna take your bronze idol. I hope you're okay with that. I feel like you can't really clutch it and be like, yes, my precious, like, you know, person with normal hands could. So, yeah, no, I'm gonna borrow that from you. And where does this other magical path lead? One would ask.
Seems it leads into the earth, sir.
Thank
This
you.
looks interesting.
What's that?
It's a chest. Oh, she found a fairy stone. I found a feather cape. I'll be all rocking out like a pallet. Oh. And a port crystal. What? Well, this is fortuitous.
The path ends.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Just you and me, Triple J. Just you and me. We will make this happen. Everyone else has forgotten that I exist, I think. There's aught to do. Oh, my nose is very, very itchy. I'm curious as to what the Coinal is streaming these days. Because allegedly he has finished up with the old Eternity Pillar. So, yeah, I'm curious as to what he's doing next. I myself have been, with the rendering and the uploading of stuff lately, I've been playing Battletech on my own on a second, like, save thing. Love that game. It's so good. Highly recommend it. The Colonel says there's one thing that he doesn't like about the game, and I was like, blasphemy! But I can see his point now that I played it a bit more. A lot of the early, at least early on, a lot of the early on missions, you basically go around and, I don't want to say it's a waste of time, because the game itself doesn't move super fast. Like, everything has its very specific animation, and it's slow at times. You know, you get to move the guy, they go through the full animation, then it stops and everything else. There's no way to really speed that up. So, like, I can understand that, yeah, when you go through missions, it is a little slow, which is fine until you realize that the first few missions that you can go through are, like, kind of gimme missions, where it's not even all that challenging at all. And that kind of sucks. So I'm not a... Really? Is he maybe doing a second one? Not in tune with his YouTube series? I know the man likes to play like the same game 372,552 times, but I didn't really expect him to do it at the same time as him playing the game again. But I imagine he probably is doing that either way. Yeah, well, we had to find them. We just didn't have any port crystals. That was the biggest issue that we had before. I think we need to go back to Grand Soren. So we have the Eternal Fairy Stone with us, and any port crystals. 2 of them are already built into the ground, or I guess 3 of them. One at the weird special item, or sorry, special DLC land. One at the starting town of Casardis, and then one here at Grand Soren. And then I've since found 3 additional port crystals that have been laying around, and I've left one, I want to say near the Shadow Fort, I think that's where I left it. I left one just outside there, and I have a 3rd one still in my backpack. Okay. I do want to check one more thing before we officially go. That's not what I wanted to check. Still got 2 more for the Strider. Well, good. I'm glad. I know he really likes Pillars of Eternity a lot. Like, it's one of his favorite games of all time. So, I'm happy that... It's like, is my window open or something? These annoying little bugs. Anyway, it's one of his favorite games of all time. So, I'm glad to see that he is actually getting a chance to play it even a bit more than just on YouTube. I figured he would go and do, like, 40 episodes already pre-recorded. I myself need to actually record a couple tonight, and my wife will probably be up a little later because we slept for so long. So I should be able to get a few more episodes tonight. I still have a whole bunch, like 40 or more, of Pillars of Eternity. One I'm uploading and a bunch of other stuff in general, so pretty happy overall. Well, the amount of content that I do have, but again, I still have more I need to get done, obviously. Always and forever, there will always be more to get done. Plus, I just got sent, like, either offered or stuff that I requested a while ago. I got a few that were, like, earlier on requests. Titles and games sent to me, so... Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff to do, so tomorrow's going to be a pretty busy day, considering I'm...
Not a text, you say?
Okay. Yeah, no, you guys don't have phones. You don't know what texts are. I know that's what he means. But, yeah, tomorrow's going to be busy, even though I'm still going to spend a big chunk of time doing the stream and doing the Divinity Original Sin 2 recordings with the Colonel, so we'll see how it goes. And I should have been recording today. Like, if I could have finished 1 or 2 more episodes in the rendering and editing process and uploading them, I would have probably not napped or slept today. I would have probably just recorded all day. So, missed opportunity. It's fine though. Yeah, I think the thing that bummed me out the most was the fact that my Google Chrome, my web browser, it shut down on me when I had like 3 things that were uploaded, and I just had to like put scheduled times or just upload them manually. Just had to hit a button, and it just went, boop, and it said, "Oh, it shut down unexpectedly." I'm like, "Are you serious?" So I had to go back through and put all the information again. Very frustrating. Anyway, moving right along.
A cipher crafted to bring you to the Dragonforged. I see.
Uh-huh. Which you literally told me nothing.
If this man speaks true and is immortal, there's a fair chance he guided his grace as well.
Have I? I felt like I had a pretty good, felt like I was doing quite well, or at first I was getting pretty snappy, and then I was doing really, really well, and then there was only a couple episodes where I'm like, dude, I don't know what your deal is. But if you're watching his, I think there's one time recently, like, because his series is ahead of mine right now, but one time recently I'm like, dude, come on, man. It's been like 60 or 80 hours or whatever it's been into the game. How are you still making these same mistakes that you were making in the first 2 hours? It's like he's got the memory of a goldfish. It does get frustrating, but generally speaking, no, not really. Man speaks true and he's immortal. There's a fair chance he guided his grace as well.
Be that the case, his words are well worth heeding, sir. Meet with him as time allows. With luck, he'll lead you to victory as well.
I'm hearing noises. Okay. You've learned what to do with this quest. Good for you.
It will be my honor to show you the ready charges for the worm hunt. The choice is yours. Certainly. Then here are the details.
Oh, it might be from a while ago. Yeah, there was a time where I was just like constantly irritated, but yeah, no. I'd say probably for like the last 80 episodes or more, he still frustrates me at times where it's like, how could you keep doing that? Or why would you make that choice? You literally, if there's a choice to be made, it's the wrong one, but
by the Duke's
he's
decree,
gotten better.
We spare no effort in gathering knowledge concerning the worm.
See, that's the other thing I don't quite get. I mean, he says when he's got full control of the game, because I guess he's played a little bit on his own, when he's got full control of all the characters, he says he does better than when I control 2 of them. And my argument with that, or to that, is how is that possible when it feels like, and it seems to almost everyone, apparently, because I've had people ask me and talk about it, hey, Holy, that, like, I've had people ask if he's mentally challenged, which I definitely don't think is true, but it was funny to hear somebody say that. But I've heard people ask if, or people just asking, like, why does he make these choices? How does he play this game at all? Like, it's like he's constantly working against you in some capacity. And I'm like, well, I don't think that's the case. It's just we have different ideas. But I'm thinking if he has his own idea on how to do it, and he does the stuff that he does with me, how do his ideas work when he's got 4 people and not somebody to keep his ideas focused or grounded? Like, he's had some good ideas, like focus on the big creature instead of the dogs that are empowering him. Where my initial inclination was try to crowd control the big creature, kill off all the little animals, and then kill him. His idea was definitely the correct one. We got through that fight. It was good. But again, for the most part, it's not that case. So I don't understand how he could possibly do better without me there when I'm the one that's kind of dragging him along through these battles and everything else. I don't know. It's very strange. Okay.
As one arm of that pursuit, we aid the faith in their examination of ruins and relics. One such ruin has of late become home to monsters. We've received a request for escort.
Escort.
They've asked for you by name, sir.
Sweet.
What response might I give them?
I accept.
My thanks, sir. His Grace has commanded the utmost attention be given to such matters.
There's ought to do.
Pray,
Let's do
speak
it.
to Father Geoffrey at the cathedral in the city for details of the task.
Geoffrey, huh?
Were the decision mine, I would set every man we have to defending our strongholds. But such is our duty.
Indubitably. Alright. Such is your duty. Hi.
That tall, slim building is the cathedral.
Yes, I'm aware of
That
what it...
tall, slim building is the cathedral.
Thank you. Hey, Miss Nomer, do you think that tall, slim building right there is the cathedral? No?
Well met, sir.
I am weighed down. I'm noticing it in my run speed. So how have you been, Holy? How have thou'st been? I don't want to talk to you. You I want to talk to. Hello, old man.
Well met, good Arisen.
Thank you.
'Tis a heartening boon to have your assistance in our endeavors.
You have a weird face.
I will not keep you long, for the survey party has already set out from Gran Soren. They walk south to the ruins of the falls, near the encampment.
Oh, my eye.
I know not what dangers await there, but I will rest easily knowing you accompany them. Pray fly now to their side and keep watch over them. Make her speed your steps, sir.
I feel like if they were needing me, they would have waited for me. Alright, Liana.
I've heard the Water God's altar, the ruins behind the falls, are overrun with Saurians.
Yeah, I know. We fought that. We cleared it out already. Well, you guys weren't with us at the time. Alright. There's ought to do. Onward. Nothing new or exciting? Well, sometimes that's not necessarily bad. Before I leave town, let's hope that I can remember to sell stuff. Or at least lighten my load a little. Battletech is still an amazing game in my opinion. Have you played it yet, Holy? You usually play most of the things that we do. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I finished that one too. I never actually played or started the second one. And as far as you go, Triple J, I feel like the language barrier has less to do with it most of the time. But I'm sure there is some of that still. But yeah, he definitely does. Does get caught in his own head. Ugh, I feel like I'm like slowly dying here.
Tis not the last we'll call upon this inn, I'll warrant.
Talk to me.
Have your pick.
All right, we're gonna manage some stored items. I am going to do this real quick. Alright, sorry about that. I was dying slightly. I had a cough and choke and die and... Oh boy. Oh, and I hit all sorts of wrong buttons now. Oh, that's great. Okay. That should be good. I'm back to a black screen, but I'm here. Okay, sorry. Started Dragonfall. Yeah, I heard Dragonfall was allegedly the best in the series. I haven't actually played it yet. But I did beat the first one a long time ago, and I always wanted to return to that, play through that on stream, or not necessarily on stream, but like play through that on YouTube or whatever the case was, like record it for the channel, and then move on to Dragonfall, and then return to Hong Kong. But I never got around to doing it. Anyway, BattleTech. BattleTech was the one I was asking. All right, let's deposit stuff. Yeah, and I apologize. Like I said, I feel like I'm slowly dying today. I was running back to the car or whatever I was doing today, and all of a sudden, like, something caught in my throat. And it wasn't like an insect or anything. It's just like something caught in my throat. I swallowed wrong or whatever the case was. And then I was like coughing for like 20 minutes. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. This is going to be terrible if I have to try to do something, you know, on stream today while I'm constantly coughing. Huh. What is this thing? A nailed... Oh, it's for a warrior. Well, I will actually deposit that because I will probably use it later when I become a warrior. we'll try the hammer stuff. There is just so much time. Yeah, I know. I get that. Like, there's so many games that I still want to just spend time playing, and thankfully, BattleTech has been one of those. And while I've been rendering and uploading, I have a little bit of time. I do get to play it a little bit, so that does make me a little bit happy. Because I really like it. Oh my gosh. It's like every bodily function is rebelling against me right now.
Have your pick. Any you like.
I don't really want to change anything, so we're good. I probably should rest, but I don't want to rest. I would rather come over to you, speak and say, yes, there's ought to do, and all the stuff. Oops. Rotten scrag of beast. Why do I have harspid milk there? Rotten eggs. I want to get rid of the sour stuff as well. Bring bout. Oh, it was a harspid milk. There we go. You're done with WoW again, so you have more time to spend on other. Yeah. Well, isn't it the case, you know? That's one of the greatest and worst things in video gaming. So you can, you know, throw all that time into it, and it takes a lot of time to be relevant, but then, you know, dun dun dun. You're pretty much done with everything else that you can conceivably do. Why do I have these? Oh, well, the reinforced is fine. The rusted greatsword? Oh, I guess I was just gonna sell it. That's right. Oh, I can't get down to normal? Urgh. I have a lot of empty flasks. I kind of want to use them for other things, but... eh. You know what, I think I'm just gonna cancel the transaction. Never mind. Yeah, go away. Josh, stop talking to me. I'm gonna go back into the inn. We're gonna see if we can deposit just a few more things that we're not necessarily using right now. We'll call it a day.
No surprise, given the fact you came to the capital with a Hydra's head.
Yeah, I'd say after Wrath of the Lich King, and even in the end of Wrath of the Lich King, I've lost like all interest in WoW. Gone back to it a couple times. It was fun, but it's just not something I can just play anymore.
What will it be today?
Yeah, I think I am gonna deposit some of those. I don't want to sell them though. That was the thing I was thinking. Originally, I was gonna sell them, but I think I'd rather just store them. I'll probably just keep like 3 or 4 of each on me. Because all this stuff does matter at least a little bit. Affects group, really? That's interesting. Restores much health. I'm just gonna try to get rid of a lot of the just like flat herbs and things of that nature. Mini shroom. Restore some stamina. Bountiful material. Bottled haste. I mean, maybe. Probably should keep some of these. I guess I'll keep the petrification thing in case I absolutely need it. I need to add, these are the desiccated herbs. Yeah, I need to add those to my bar as like health restoring ones. It's not WoW takes up too much of your free time. So that when you play WoW, you have less desire to play other games. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's one of the things I mean. The other one is if you are into like the raiding and all the hardcore stuff, right? It takes so much of your time to do those things. Whether, like you said, whether it's daily chores, preparing for raids, which I don't know if you even need to do anymore these days. I mean, I kind of, I don't know. I lost a bit of respect for WoW when it was no longer, you had to like meet people that were on your server and like build a, you know, a group of people that you liked or whatever, that you saw every day, that were all, you know, part of the same server as you. Which had its downsides, sure, but it also built a little bit of, like, camaraderie, or, I don't know, just like there was some relationship there, right? Whereas now it's just like, hey, and now you don't even need a guild or anything. You're just like, hey, I want a raid. Go into looking for a raid group, and then boom, you just pick up into a raid group, and you go and you kill stuff. If it's gotten to the point where it's that easy to do, I don't think I want to ever do raiding it again. You know, it just doesn't seem like they just oversimplified it, maybe? Openly made it a bit more easy. I don't know. It just seems a little bit silly. Hey, Kara, how's it going, buddy? Welcome to the stream. I'd say
the beating heart of all Granses.
I'd say it's a laid-back stream, but it's pretty much always a laid-back stream, so just kind of chilling.
Dick's burden is great.
A good start
Between
to
his
any
duties
task
as
is
soldier
talking with
and
others.
the wormholes.
Let's begin with that.
I'd say just kind of chilling and slowly dying as, like, all bodily functions are starting to fail on me here. My nose is stuffy, and I'm coughing. Can't breathe right. That's fine. I don't know if it's allergies or what. Also, there's a weird thing that happens anytime I go out with my wife. Even if we're doing something mundane, like I said, like we literally went grocery shopping. Went to Costco and our Superstore, which is just like a regular grocery store here. Then we went out to lunch. And anytime we go out, whether it's that or something else entirely, we always bicker and fight at the beginning. Always. We just never just go out and just enjoy it from the beginning to the end. Like, yeah, it's kind of mundane stuff, sure. It's not the most exciting thing to do. But
Even in numbers, a weakling is a weakling
I
still.
enjoy spending time with my wife, so even if we're doing something as simple as that, or as non-glamorous or exciting or fun as just like grocery shopping, I still have fun. I still enjoy myself. So
Our strength brought us victory.
it's a bit weird, and I don't know why we always fight, and then by the time the trip's over, we're fine. Always something said, and it's just like, why? Why does this happen every time? And I don't know why. My wife does get stressed out when things are not part of the norm, and I assume that that's why. It's a very odd thing. Most of the players are doing things for selfish reasons, not to help other players. It's a mythic dungeon, and it's all about them needing things, not to help you. Well, that's fair. I've gone through my own.
Watch for a goblin ambush ahead, Arisen.
Dear gosh, Misnomer, hush. I've gone through my own series of just things in World of Warcraft. From, you know, hey, I have this person I know, or this guy I met. Let's have him join our group. You know, he played well. And I always seem to attract kind of more of the elitist crew. Because I was actually exceptionally good at one point doing what I did in World of Warcraft. Anyway, so we tended to be the better folk in World of Warcraft, in our clans, our guilds, our groups, what have you. So, back then, I was always willing to, you know, hey, I know you're missing this, or oh, you're missing that, or hey, you know, we need to get your, you know, your item. You get better items or gear, so you're better to do this or that or whatever. It was always more of a group-focused thing, help everyone. Like, I know a lot of people ran stuff like, I was fine, I was able to do stuff, but when it came to raiding, I was the third best geared tank in our group, or I guess of that class. Even though I was significantly better than all the other people playing that class, my gear was actually worse. And one big piece of armor I could never get a replacement for was my helmet. So I know my friends, we ran a bunch of stuff for everyone, but we would run some of the easier raids and stuff every week just to try to get me like the tier 4 hat. I'm talking like Burning Crusade times. The tier 4 hat, or... Guys, back up this way. Come on. So, you know, there's a bit of selfishness, but yeah. Most people are super greedy, and they only care about what they can get. Like, I definitely get... Guys, come on. I don't know how long the thing's going to follow us, but we should try not to get hit by it. And break apart! You're tired? I'm tired. Oh, well, see, that's just it. I never really did pugging. I always thought it was kind of just meh. Like, the whole concept, it takes the personal thing out of it. And I'm, not a super social person, or can I talk today? But at the same time, I want to play with my friends more than I want to really do anything else. So,
The path diverges.
Get
They're
him?
armed, Master.
ooh, what? Where did they come from? I don't remember these guys being here before.
We shall take them
No
as
interruption. They attack in quick succession.
Oh, I just got stabbed.
troublesome.
Alright, buddy. Oh, he's still alive. Oh, well, he's not alive anymore.
Our strength brought us victory.
You, DPS to players with tier 6 gear with your tier 4. Yeah, I imagine it probably... Well, it started to do that when it came to Wrath of the Lich King. It wasn't much worse, but it got worse in Wrath of the Lich King. Like, skill-based, like tanking, for instance, because that's what I did a lot of, right? Everyone could AoE tank at that point. I know I've mentioned this in other streams before, but everyone could AoE tank from Wrath of the Lich King on. All the tanks could do it. Some still did it slightly better, but, the Death Knights, the Paladins, the Druids, and the Warriors, they all could do it pretty effectively. In Burning Crusade,
With so many twists,
each
it's hard to
tank
see what lies
had a
ahead.
specific role that they did better than the others. The Druids, if they were the main tank, easily could hold the aggro, generate the most threat out of any of the other tanks.
Constant vigilance.
Like, easily. They're also given enough gear.
Harpy!
We should stop the harpies from killing everybody here. Given enough gear, they were actually also easier to heal, I want to say, than warriors. Because I also healed, so I knows both. But their AoE was
I've learned new techniques.
okay at best. It wasn't great.
I'll draw its attention.
Are my teammates doing literally anything? I feel like they're not. Give me one sec, guys. I just want to see if we can't take some of these fools down.
Set its wings ablaze.
You did you?
Old texts claim the road twixt Gran Soren and Cassidus were once well traveled. Beware the harpy song!
Strike when
I'm not
it's
really
alive.
worried about the harpies.
That was hardly a warm-up.
That was silly. Anyhow, the warrior was really good at, better at dodging, blocking, and parrying, right? Like, they had more just avoidance. Whereas the druid didn't have as much as neither of them. I think the paladin also had more than they did. But the druid had so much more armor and more health that, I don't know if it really balanced out. It was just, I found it was easier to heal because the hits that they took were less... Like, they might have gotten hit more often, so yes, maybe they took more damage overall. But, if you're taking 20% of the health pool every time they get hit, and they get hit 5 times more in a battle versus a warrior taking 35% of the health pool. Say they don't avoid 2 times in a row, the warrior's almost dead, one more hit and he's dead, whereas the druid can still take 2 or 3 more hits. It was different. Anyway, long story short, the paladin was really good at AoE tanking, and... that was it, really. It was just AoE tanking. Thank you, sir.
I'll take that.
Am I taking you somewhere? Or are you just... Oh, you're going to disappear. Now, I did not... I enjoyed the original, or vanilla, World of Warcraft. But, for anyone who... I completely disagree. I think it was a good starting point. I think they did well. They made the game quite fun.
Every beast has its weakness.
But I felt
Observe
like...
closely and learn to exploit it.
everything, literally everything was better in Burning Crusade. There was nothing that I liked more
There's no
about
surprise,
vanilla
of course,
World of
that
Warcraft
many
than I liked
abandoned
about Burning
lurks
Crusade.
here as well.
Everything they did was a complete upgrade. It took more skill to do things. They even got rid of a lot of the fat. They trimmed the fat for raiding, which I liked a lot. I thought 40-man raids were well overblown, so you'd have, you could have a lot more people that didn't have to pull their weight in the 40-man raids. And
Gran Soren stands
once they
beyond
switched
this
it back down
waycastle.
to the 25 size raids, it was much better because you had to have more people doing what they were supposed to do. but they also diversified, like I said, with the various tanks. They made healing more diverse and better as well. It was just
Quite the
a
grand
better time, in my
structure.
opinion.
A way castle, perhaps?
Yes. Thank you, Jumbo 2K. Yeah. I think the spike damage was probably still best with the druid, but I think he had more tools because he could also heal himself and other things of that nature too. So all of them had their strength, and I'm not saying any one was better than the others. Most people would always main tank like a new boss or something that was super strong with. I'm still trying to find this place. Where is this place I'm supposed to be going? But most people would use a warrior to main tank everything. And I feel like that was not always the right... Oh, are we supposed to actually go into the Water God's Temple? Okay. So that should just be, like, just over here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the dodge stats, the higher armor, so less damage taken per hit, and the higher health pool.
Holds like this one are crucial in warding the capital from monsters.
Not that way.
But yeah, they all did well, and just like with the tanking, there was a diversity in tanking. There was also a diversity. I think I have to get down a different way. I don't think I can go this. Maybe I can. Last time I did this, I dropped down. I almost killed everybody, and then I lost my companion.
Quite the cascade. I'd not like to attempt that.
Yeah, I gotta go a different way. I can't get down here. I gotta go on the other side of the chasm. I think. It's always nice that it's the middle of the night when I'm out in these stupid places. What the heck I'm doing? So I don't know that falling down over there is much better than falling down over here. I mean, I guess a little bit. Or did we fall in the water, maybe? Maybe that's what we did. Or I did. Is this high enough that I don't die when I fall? No, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so maybe we have to land in the water. So we're going to do something the Colonel would 100% approve of here. Oh, no. No, you're making good points, Jumbo. But yeah, in general, I just felt like you're saying yourself, that Burning Crusade was just better balanced. Like I said, I enjoyed the... Oh, this is a bad idea. The water's not deep enough. I don't know how I got down there last time. Well, it wasn't like that. I'm trying to think. How did I get down there? Maybe do I get down from like the other side? Like I know I fell off the other side of the chasm, but I still hurt people when I did that. So my guess is we need to go from a different angle altogether, or maybe there's like a way to slow the fall on that side. Oh wait, there's a road. Never mind. Okay, there you go. So I know I did it from the other side, but I thought I could still do it from this side. Absolutely not. I am enjoying... What do you mean? Oh, the import's having an issue? Oh, that's unfortunate. I am enjoying Pillars of Eternity too. It's a lot of fun.
This looks interesting.
I like pretty much everything that I've seen so far. The only thing I can say that I'm hesitant... Oh, there's a road, never mind. That I'm hesitant that I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. Is what is it called? They had this thing that I just saw in like one of the last episodes I did, or maybe the second to last episode I did, where it shows your companions and like the relationship between your companions and themselves. And I don't know if that was really a thing that was implemented in the first one. At least I hadn't run into it yet. And it's possible that it was, but it was like maybe it was hidden as opposed to it being...
Now, Arisen, end it!
Yeah, it's on my to-do list. Like, maybe it was a hidden thing, but now you actually have, like, a chart and a graph and everything. To me, I know a lot of people will probably like that. I don't really like that. It's one of those things that I don't need. I don't need people to, like, hey, I like this person way more and I hate this person. Guys, I don't want to fight those. Alright. And lightning, and oh, well, he's running.
Not that way.
There, he's dead. Now let's go. I think, unless I missed and hit somebody else. I suppose people have already beaten it. It's been out for not quite a week yet, but I know people were playing it. I also know that a lot of people ignored the NDA or the embargo, which was not cool. Can I follow this up? I feel like the answer is no? Maybe? Yeah, this isn't it. I gotta go up further. You're drenched, you're soaked, you can't see in the dark. I know, thank you.
Have been drenched.
Anyway, so the long and short of the WoW discussion, just so I finish up where I was at or what I was saying. Long story short is the diversity in both healing. Oh, there's a person there. Both healing and in tanking. Even the DPS felt different, though I imagine that's probably diversified a bit more because that's what people prefer to do. The fact that you had to build camaraderie and relationships to get a guild and build a team, and just the level of difficulty. I feel like while there's some cool and interesting stuff, and no, I'm not saying like everything from all the future expansions are easy. Just you had to like mark things, do very specific things back in the day. Mark this, pull this, use line of sight to pull, and then DPS, face it the right way. I'm sure all these things still exist in raiding these today, but a lot more of it is just pull AoE an entire room and then kill it down. And to me, that's just lost a lot of the thing that made the rest of it great. There was stuff like, was it Zulaman, where if you were able to do it within a certain time limit, and it was actually difficult to do it in that time limit, you got like a rare mount that only people who could do that were able to do. So you had to have like your 5-person group who could do that. My second time in there, our group pulled that, and my third time we pulled it as well. So yeah, it was, I have really fond memories of that. It just felt like a better, more challenging, more balanced game, and now it's just kind of like easy mode, I guess. Like even when you were doing dungeons and then eventually heroic dungeons, you couldn't just pull everything unless you were doing like the low end level of the dungeon and you were at the max level already. You still, when you were at the same level, you had to like mark things and use crowd control and all that. I miss all that stuff. It's just not there, so it's not the same anymore.
Oh, make her be good. Are you the Arisen, sir? I am of the party sent to survey the ruins.
Yeah, I think you're right too. That's what I felt moving forward. I felt like the bosses, even in like Wrath of the Lich King, there were parts that were a little bit more difficult, but there was just more involved in the boss fighting. But again, that's because they've done stuff in the past. They have to constantly innovate and do new things. But they're almost all gimmicky. I don't know. I still enjoy the traditional just tank and spank and see if you can survive it, right? It's the one-on-one normal boss fight from, way back in the day, as opposed to all the shenaniganery where you see people fail. Yeah, I don't know. That's a mythic 15 plus now. I'm not even sure what that means exactly, but yeah, it does seem like it's gone a little bit more easy, and then like they have just more levels to get the difficulty back to roughly the way it was before. As far as Pillars of Eternity 2, you said let's see here, is overall easier than the first. I mean, it could be. I don't know. They made a lot of quality of life changes that they innovated from, what was it, like 7, 6, however many years ago? I guess it wasn't that long. Maybe it was like 3 or 4 years ago. Back when Pillars of Eternity released. And then they kind of perfected and added more stuff in with Tyranny. And now they have Pillars of Eternity 2. And they brought all that together. And I think a lot of it has to do with everything's more streamlined now. And they got rid of some of the mechanics that made the game more difficult. So I don't know. Again, I haven't played through both of them all the way yet. So I can't make the claim. But I don't know that it's necessarily true. It might just feel easier because they've geared the game more toward moving forward and, not having to, I only have 8 spells that I can use before I have to rest. Alright, well I better make sure I use those in a very specific manner in a very specific fight. Otherwise, only use my daily skills, or my per encounter skills. Whereas now, I think, unless I'm reading things wrong, almost all of your abilities are completely reset upon each new fight. So you can actually use your skills in every fight instead of going, alright, well this is a slightly easier where I'll use some healing, some per encounter abilities, and just use my melee basic attacks, my auto attacks, to finish it off. And it's a little bit of a struggle, but you do fine. And they got rid of that stupid endurance versus health thing. I hated that from the beginning. I'm so glad that's gone. Fatigue in 3.0. What is fatigue? Oh, fatigue. That's when you were up for too long. Okay, yeah. Good. Yeah, that was another thing I thought was stupid. Like, it forced you into resting. I remember that being a thing. Spells? Spells don't reset? Are they only per rest? I don't know. Like I said, I don't have an actual spellcaster yet, so I don't know. But I know all skills are that way. I assume spells were too. I think in the beta they were. Huh, I don't know. Alright, Maker, be good. Are you the Arisen, sir? I am of the party sent to survey the ruins.
I've seen no sign of Brother Jean. He had gone on ahead. I dearly wish I could run to his aid, but as you've seen, I am the Faith's greatest craven. I beseech you, sir, find Jean within and see him safe.
Well, either I'm remembering wrong from the beta, or they changed it because people were whining, probably. It's probably the latter. But he has a very strange shadow. He's like hollow. Hello. Weird. Alright, so now we're actually supposed to officially go in here. We've already been in here. And we cleared this place out because we're amazing. Well, we cleared it out mostly. Then we lowered the water. And then we left because we were still using our basic starting equipment at this point. We are no longer in starting equipment, so this place probably pretty easy now. You know, you guys can help with the bats too. I shouldn't have to do all of it. I know I'm the Arisen, but you guys shouldn't be the statues, okay? Just kill the bats. It's not that difficult.
Or so they say. In truth, no one knows for sure who built this place, or why.
Oh, you're still talking about skills. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, spell. There were certain skills that were per rest too. But yeah, spells is what I was thinking. I'm like, maybe I'm completely wrong, but they sort of did away with a lot of the.
From here, we can see what's below.
Yeah, we can.
Are swift. Be wary.
Anyhow, they seem to have done away with a lot of the.
I know what to do.
Just the silly shenaniganery of having to rest all the time. Like, I like the streamlined version where it's less focus on just silly mechanics that I never liked to begin with. More of a focus on, hey, we're giving you all the tools to go into every fight with, except a few super powerful ones. Go and actually use your skills and fight. And I like that. I like that a lot about Pillars of Eternity too. Hello? There's some skeletons. Yeah.
Blunt damage will smash those bones.
Yeah, well, I don't have blunt damage. I have regular damage. And by regular, I mean slashing. Aw, you're getting all close and personal with the... Oh, never mind. With the skeleton. Pick up money, peasants. I will say that I find Pillars of Eternity 1, I don't necessarily want to say easier. It's just... It's different playing it now than it was back in the day. I do find it easier than I did before.
I'll serve as bait.
What is happening?
Strike the tail. Take my fire.
Where are you going? Where? Why? What? Oh boy. Why are we running down here? What? Guys? Stressing me out. What's this?
We'll get nowhere till we've found that key.
Oh, I've been on the other side of the door. Okay, I know what's going on. You can redirect spells mid-cast now? Yeah, before, once it like started casting, right? If you canceled, you used the spell ability, but the spell never actually got cast. Is that correct? Like the number of spells, so say it was a fireball, you could only cast 4. If you started casting and decided you were going to change who you were going to cast it on or where it was going to cast to, it would then go from 3 to 4 or 4 to 3 or 2 to 1 type thing and not actually cast the spell. Ah, what they changed. Yeah, I didn't realize that they did so much, oh, hello. I didn't know that they did so much changing, in Pillars of Eternity 1. It is best, but we don't actually need to sever the tail, so we'll figure that one out. What's up, man? See, I'm gonna kill you, and then I'm gonna kill your other little friend behind you.
It'll take more than that.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can go over this way, I suppose. Wait, I have the double jump now. Stuff like this is so much easier. Oh, so much easier than it used to be. However, I'm also known to do stupid things and die. Nice. Yeah, there does seem to be a lot of just like I said, quality of life, things that should have always have been. But again, they made a game, and yeah, it was backed by, what was it, 77,000 plus Kickstarters and everything else, or people on Kickstarter, and they made a fantastic game. But they also, I think, they based it more heavily on, drawing a blank, I don't know why, Dungeons and Dragons mechanics than they probably needed to. But they also had to get the game out, right? So I feel like they might have even pigeonholed themselves in slightly. And now that they've, you know, they've become an entity onto themselves. I mean, Obsidian's really good, right? And they've made a few other games that they can change up things that they didn't particularly like, or stuff that they had to rush, or stuff that they implemented, and they're like, that wasn't the greatest idea. Like I said, the thing that I liked the least about the game was the health and the endurance thing. I hated that so much. Like, oh, you have 500 health, but you only have 35 endurance. If you get hit for 35 points of damage, you get knocked down, and you are out of the fight. Why is that a thing? It kind of forced you into rests, and I did not like that. That was not a thing that I was a fan of. So, like I said, I am super happy. I actually want to be on the other side. Super happy that they got rid of that. And now it's just, hey, if you go down, you get injured. If you get 3 injuries, you die. I think that's how it works. Something like that. So it literally solves all the issues, and it still keeps the kind of the core mechanic down. Whoa, I thought that was a... For a second there, I thought that was like a harpy. I'm like, there's a harpy in here? You guys see it? I see it.
Monsters arisen. Ready yourself.
He's right there.
To sever the tail.
Yeah, but he's also sort of dead before his tail got severed. Baldur's Gate with mods, yeah. Yeah, so Baldur's Gate was kind of pretty heavily inspired. What is this? Is that a curse? Why don't you guys walk in there and see? Oh no, this is the guy I'm supposed to find.
We'd best report this.
Hey, the ogre, or sorry, the Cyclops I originally fought, that I actually struggled with a bunch, is back. Let's go see if we can fight him again. It is a hassle to mod them. Yeah. Did you try the remastered editions? They still look terrible. They actually look weird. It's very strange to describe how they look. But apparently they play much better for the most part. But there's still some certain changes that they actually made. And of course, you know, the elitists, the hardcore people that love the game so much, they're obviously going to complain about that. You should buff me. please. Lightning.
Draw its ire
Oh,
with
please
its
quickly
hoof.
do it before you get hit with a giant club.
Lend thy sting.
It cannot hold a weapon with an injured hand!
It also can't hold a weapon when it's dead.
I'll draw it near.
Come on. Get up over his back.
Any monster can be slain.
Why does he have to...
Its eye is vulnerable.
I know his eye is vulnerable, so is the rest of his body. How's that feel, buddy? Huh?
Has but one eye. Strike it.
I've learned new techniques
It's dead.
against that foe.
That was really easy. The amazing amount of difference between the first time we were here with starting equipment and the equipment we have now. That was just
Strength in numbers, Arisen.
stupidly easy.
'Tis dark and unsettling, this place. If you lose your way,
What's that
you
thing?
need but consult your map.
Oh, I got the altar key. Oh, so we killed him before and we didn't get that because it wasn't part of the quest at the time. Okay. Okay. There's nothing wrong with them. Well, the new companions, yeah. They said they added some new companions. I think there were some like gameplay mechanics that they might have changed slightly. Did they take parts out? I might be mixing stuff up now. I've been looking at a lot of like older games lately. But I know there were some older games that I was looking into where they did like remastered versions of them. I don't think it was this, but they actually omitted parts altogether. And people were complaining about that. But I think that had something to do with one of the Fire Emblem games. I think that's what's in my head right now. I was looking up the old Fire Emblem games, seeing if I couldn't find any to actually pick up, and apparently there were some remastered ones of the original, but they cut out certain characters and they removed certain parts of the game, a couple fights. Overall, they still say that the game was slightly better, but there was no need to remaster that. I don't know. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Fire Emblem games. Alright, so we have the key. I don't know that we need to use the key right now. I think what we need to do is return back to the guy to report like his situation, and then he'll probably send us back in here with the key. Get stuff done. That's my guess. Oh, really? That's cool. The new expansion for Baldur's Gate 1. Yeah, I heard there was a lot of controversy with that, but you know, people are people. Anything that's changed, different, or new, everyone's gonna get crazy and angry about. So, what can you do? Alright, get out of my way. Oh, mushrooms. Oh, snakes. Thankfully the snake missed me this time. Yeah, it looks like we have to head out, and then maybe we get to head back in with the key. That's my guess. A lot of running in this game. A lot of time spent just moving back and forth. Did it bother you at all, the expansion? Well, you said you enjoyed it, so I assume it was fine.
I've been drenched.
Yeah, I've been drenched too. Get over yourself. That's superb. Well, again, sometimes you just want more content and something that you already enjoy.
I see. I do not wish his death to be in vain, sir. I will do all I can.
Well, it's just like the HOM 7 expansion, Trial by Fire. If that was 100% working, it was okay. I still didn't particularly like it just because I don't really have any affinity toward the dwarves in the HOM series. So, they're okay. They're not unfun or terrible, but they're definitely not my favorite, and the way they play I didn't particularly like either. But again, it was fine. I enjoyed playing it, even with the bugs. I would have just enjoyed it more if it didn't have all the little issues and problems that came up with it.
Please, might you survey these ruins in his stead, Arisen?
Yeah, I might.
That he may know some small comfort in seeing his work here completed. I ask your aid, sir.
Why did he go in there alone? I don't understand. That seems so stupid. Man swallowing falls. What? That was a very interesting choice of names, I guess. Yeah, well, that's just it. Like, HOM 7 was way better than, like, it in and of itself was way better than the expansion of it. The expansion I still liked, just like I enjoyed the other two, the HOM 4 expansion stories for HOM 7. I enjoyed them. They were okay. They weren't great. There was nothing groundbreaking or awesome. I still think I preferred HOM 7's base story more, and like gameplay and campaigns and stuff. But they weren't bad. So is it similar to... Is that how you felt about the expansion to Baldur's Gate 1? I just killed you guys. How are you back to life? We're rats. We will survive. Survive? We will survive. We will survive the apocalypse. Yeah. Well, here's... That's... Maybe it's true. I don't know if when the game originally released, it was necessarily that. I think they were funded fine. And again, I know I'm going to sound like I'm defending Ubisoft a ton. But they were funded, I think they were funded fine. They had everything they needed. But they made their game, but then they ran into issues. And I don't remember whether or not the game was delayed. But they ran into issues, and they tried to fix the issues, and they tried to fix it. And they kind of got most of them fixed. There were still some quirks in the game released. And they were supposed... Like, they fell massively behind schedule. They just couldn't keep up with what they were supposed to be able to do. And on top of that, I think it would have been fine if the game was well received. The game was not well received because everybody who likes the HOM series hates everything after HOM 3 because they're a bunch of morons. Love all you HOM people out there. Just saying. HOM 3 was fine. It was great. But to think that that's the best in the series is absurd to me. It's a good game. It's a great game. But definitely by no means the best in the series. The innovations from 5, there's probably innovations in 4, I don't know. To me, I didn't give 4 a chance, so I'm definitely guilty of the HOM 3 is better than 4 favoritism, but I don't know. Like, I'm admitting right now, the look and feel of the game felt totally off to me, and I did not enjoy it, and that's why I didn't give it much of a chance. But, that being said, I do plan to go back and try it at some point. And I'm of the mind that it's probably a really, really good game too. But 5 was amazing. Anyone who says 5 was not great, there's something wrong with. Because 5 is by far way better than 3. I still like 6 a lot. I don't know what it is about 6 that just doesn't strike the right chord with me. It doesn't feel 100% like a HOM game. It does to a degree and extent. But there's just something slightly off about it, and I don't know why, and that's the only reason it's a little bit lower. But, like, 5 was really, really good. And 7 was amazing. Like, if all the expansions, everything came through, 7 was a great game. But, again, just was not received well. It was super negatively received. There were some issues. Their choice to go with the still motion thing for the cinematics, I think it was still an artistic choice. I think they're like, oh, we're going to do this because you see sometimes, like, in movies... Right, they'll have like an image, like a still image, and there's a narrator talking, explaining what was going on, like flashbacks to other movies instead of just playing the same clip over again. They'll be like there, or you see somebody like stabbing somebody, and it'll be like a scream, ah, and like blood will start seeping. Like you see that in so many movies. It's a thing that's done. They tried it with the game. I don't know. I haven't heard that. Oh wow, I'm over encumbered. I feel like I haven't picked up anything yet. I haven't heard one way or the other whether that's true or not, but to me, it just... Oh, well, I guess I can get rid of that. To me, I feel like they just decided to go with that artistic choice, and then it turned out that it was the wrong choice. Like, I'm not going to defend saying it was a good choice. I think it was a terrible choice. But, you know, they went with it, and I'm not going to, you know... I'm not going to say, oh, but everybody's like, oh, look, they couldn't even do an actual cinematic because they didn't have any money or they ran out of money doing the game. I don't think that's true. I am very much in the belief that they chose to do it that way, and it just was not the right choice. This no more hold all the extra stuff that I have. I wonder how heavy this key is. Relatively heavy. Yeah, I see. That's just it. I grew up with HOM 3 too. It was my first experience in the HOM series, and while I really do like the game a lot, I'm not blinded by the fact that 5, even 6, and 7 are really good games, and they have definitely improved. I don't want to say improved 100%. But yeah, I mean, in many ways, like 6, again, I'm still... There's something about 6 that doesn't feel right. So, we'll say with 5 and 7, they've 100% improved the game. It was so much better than it was in HOM 3. The thing I really, really liked about 5, specifically, was the alternate path upgrade choices. Where I think you had your normal, like, pikeman to halberdier, or we'll say footman to, what are they called? Conscript. Let's go with something easier. Horseman to knight, and then from the knight you had like a paladin or like a holy knight or something. Like you had 2 other paths you could take. I really liked that in number 5, and they didn't do that. They didn't do that in 7, and I felt like that was one of the coolest things about 5, and why I think that's still one of my favorites. And I'm also not sure, but I think that didn't get implemented until one of the expansions. But that alone was just like mind-blowing. I'm like, that's such a good idea. Now, granted, there was almost always a choice that was better than the other one, so it was almost a moot point, generally speaking. But, like, 7, at least, they kind of did that a little bit with the champion units. You could choose one or the other, right? Angels or paladins or whatever the other guy, the horse... No, they were like conquerors or warriors, the big 2-handed swordsmen. Like Landsknecht or something like that. I don't remember what they called them. Well, but they changed the story, but they also changed the story in a way that didn't... Like, they didn't go and say, oh, we're taking the story and we're just going to use it and screw it up. They said, you know what? HOM has its legacy, all the stuff that's happened. They moved to, like, a different timeline, different world and all that stuff. Still using the same, like, HOM stuff. And I'm fine with that. I think that's better than trying to continue on with what's there and then have everybody go, oh, you guys did a terrible job of using the HOM franchise and getting the storytelling right and everything else. But again, that's just me. Yeah, something along those lines. Oh, gosh. Buff me! Buff me now! Please, for the love of...
Magic finds them well enough. There, Master. Skeleton
Buff
better.
me! Give me spell! Liana, you're not my favorite person right now.
We'll need magic to defeat it.
We will. Uh-oh.
Finish it with magic.
I am poisoned.
Liana.
Blunt weapons will do in a skeleton.
Liana. Liana. Buff me with magic for the love of God.
Skeleton Knight comes! My
What?
weapon passes through.
Oh.
Finish it with magic. Splinter their bones.
Help me! Hurry!
I don't want to help you. You guys are terrible at doing the things I ask you to do. Liana, give me your buff.
Find a new way to fight.
I've learned of beasts.
I shall watch the spirit's actions.
Please, don't.
An ally's blow will dislodge the ghost. Refreshment is in order. Let us watch.
Liana, for the love of God.
Patience and vigilance.
Stop moving.
Allow an ally to strike over quickly. I shall watch the spirit's actions.
Cast the spell. Cast the spell. Cast, please. Cast the spell. Woman, do what I'm saying. Do the thing. Please.
Magic will avail where muscle will patience and vigilance arisen.
I'm just going to sit here.
Someone, hurry, attack!
With the heroes.
Swords are useless.
Have a lot of the sci-fi elements in them.
Cannot free themselves.
I haven't
Stay
played them.
close.
I haven't played, except for 10, which I know a lot of people didn't like that either, which I, again, thought was fine.
Allow an ally to strike you, quickly. There's a
Well,
fool rushing
they
in
finally
against an
killed them.
unknown foe.
Hey, Liana, maybe next time just give me a buff, and then I can kill all of them really quickly, and we're fine. Yeah, see, if you did that in the fight, that would have gone so much better. I just don't get it. Alright, I need to get rid of some of these. Oh man, these are really heavy. Okay. Now she's over encumbered. Well, at least we figured out what's weighing us down. First two without big spoilers if you're ever going to play. I might. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard to play really old games. Some of them just don't... I don't necessarily want to say translate well, because that's not the right term, but they just... Like Gothic 2. Great game. Everybody loves it. They say it's fantastic. One of their favorite RPGs of all time. I have a hard time playing it. Like, the game mechanics are just... They're so bad that I really struggle when I try playing that game. And it's not that I struggle because I'm bad at the game. It's just the game mechanics in and of themselves are just meh. Very, 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 very meh. And Skelly Welly is dead. Yeah, they don't age well. Oh, I'm getting more of these things. I'm not going to be able to move soon.
That was hardly a warm-up.
Alright, I got a small rotten fish. Yeah. First try.
Take care, you aren't soaked in water.
Why? Is that... Like, am I gonna die because I'm... Uh-oh. Because I'm slightly damp? I think we're already in battle, right? Yeah. Hey, remember what I said last time? Liana, you think you can do it this time? Liana? 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 Hi? Liana? Alright, we're gonna go over here now. Buff us! Do it now. What is she doing? Woman! Did you forget your meds? Whatever. Oh, he is super angry. Oh boy.
It's mad with rage.
It is mad with rage.
Its eye is vulnerable. Take my lightning.
Oh. Now you want me to take your lightning. Alright. Wait, this one doesn't even have... What is this, is this a baby? What is this? It doesn't have the normal, like, giant health bar that these things have.
Send a bolt at its eye.
Triumphed.
That's smaller than normal, right? Like, that's not a full-size Cyclops, right? Can't say anything about the first two. They're not great games by any stretch. They don't age well. 86 release. Oh, there was an NES version? Are we talking about the Might and Magic one? They always seemed interesting, but I don't know. Games like that were just, I don't want to say outside my reach, but they didn't capture my imagination as much. That's why I was surprised I enjoyed 10 as much as I did. And I know there's a far stretch between like 6 or 7 and 10, or X, or whatever you want to call it. But like even the grid-based movement and all that, I know like you had free movement and there was just differences. But I just didn't think I'd ever really like those type of games back in the day, and it turns out they're okay now that I'll go back and play some of them now, but I don't know if I can go back and play some of those like really, really old ones, because I feel like it's gonna be a struggle. Now I know there's a lot of mods and things for the
I wonder
games.
what's inside.
And while, oh my gosh, there's more of this stuff. Is this what I'm supposed to be picking up? Because I feel like maybe it is. Yes. Items of crucial import to your quest. Well, that's not good. I'm not sure how we're going to pick up the rest of them. But if we can manage it, we should be able to, in theory, finish the quest, turn them in, and not have any more issues. Probably, maybe, sort of, possibly. Oh boy. That was a little bit of a leap of faith there. Yeah, I was 3 too. Until 95. Yeah, they hadn't aged well. Yeah, there's a lot of games like that. Have you played any of the, or tried to play any of the old school King's Bounty games? It's the same situation. I just, can't do it. Can't do it. They do not play well at all, in my opinion. I could probably land that. Oh, were we? Oh, I didn't realize that this is where we were. Okay, I'm sorry. Kind of wasted our time a little bit there. It's alright, we'll just go back this way. There should be a ladder or a staircase around here somewhere. There it is. All the bats. Yeah, I like the new ones too. Though I feel like they get a little bit repetitive.
This looks interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Because I have to somehow give enough stuff away that I can carry that. We're only slightly over. Oh, we're only slightly over encumbered. Okay, that's not too bad then. Oh, let's see. It says I'm still over encumbered. Oh, I don't know how much I'm over encumbered. Does it show my much weight I can normally have? Now it just shows that I'm over encumbered. All right. Well, I want to say I was in the 60s. Oh, this is gonna be awful. Well, give to equipment, give to... I wonder if I can get any of this stuff back. Probably not. Alright, what do I have that's like really, really heavy? Other than the things that I need that are really, really heavy. Moldy grand grapes. So I'm gonna give all of those away. Jeez. Well, I apologize. This is we're very heavy.
Let us go back and report.
We did it. Now we just have to slowly walk back to give our report. Oh god, you guys are gonna push me off the edge. What are you doing? Well, we did all this. That's cool. And I believe this door is now openable. I don't need to go in here, though, because I've already done everything else I needed to do. So that's cool. Oh, that's neat. This is how we lowered the water, by the way. But I did it a different way through jumping and other random stuff. See the little guy on the wall? Remember those guys? They beat me down bad. But the original King's Bounty games were just really, really, really rough to play. Just, I mean, it's amazing how far we've come in video game technology. Yeah, 2:30. Yeah, I'm gonna be stopping in about a half hour, maybe a little bit more. So I was a few minutes late today. Yeah, go get some sleep, man. I do plan, once I finish the Heroes Chronicles series, I do plan to start up the King's Bounty series. So right now I'm actually playing through HOM 3, gonna at least finish the campaign, the whatever scenario, not the scenario, the campaign that I'm on. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna actually go into the 3rd of the Heroes Chronicles series, and then I'll return to HOM 6, and I'll probably finish up like whatever thing that we're doing there. I think it's the Haven campaign, so I'll finish that one all the way up. So instead of bouncing back and forth as quickly or as often. So there you have it. I also found, I think there's a bonus campaign that unlocks when you finish the last of the like 6 or 5 that are there. I think there's 6. I think there's a bonus campaign. So before I do the bonus campaign, I think I'll probably go and start Heroes Chronicles 3. And then I'll come back. And then I probably won't start the expansions to HOM 3 for a while. I'll probably finish up other stuff before I go to that. And I'm going to tell you guys now, sneak peek, I'm like 65% through HOM 1, pre-recorded about a year ago. And I want to finish it before I actually go and I upload it, because when I originally got the game, I beat it, and then I decided to do the HOM 1 series, and I played through it. I got all the way to the final map, could not beat the final map with the group I chose. I tried like 10 times, couldn't do it, don't know why, just couldn't do it. I had like a super powerful mage character too, like I was able to teleport across the map, like everything was working toward, in my favor. Couldn't beat it. So I'm not going to upload any of those episodes until I officially finish and beat the entire game. So, something to look forward to. It's a fun game, but it's quite awful. The second time I was with the Dragon faction, the Sorceress. And I did fine till the final map, but I got like 2 towns, and I would get a 3rd. Like, I could never actually eliminate anyone. I know that's not really what you're supposed to do, but I could never eliminate anyone. I would go, and then they would have a strong enough army to crush my army, or not crush it, but like hurt me really badly, that I would like kill their army, and then I would teleport back, get my army back, go back in, and then I would lose a town, and then I'd regain it, and then I'd get a little bit further, and then they'd kill it, or I'd kill them again, lose most of my army, go back. And it was just an endless cycle, and then some of the other groups started to come down and attack me. And it's just like, I can't do this. I can't do it, so I actually deleted all that. I don't remember what chapter I'm on, but I will say HOM 1 is by far the worst game in the series, but it was the initial idea concept, so you have to give it a pass, right? Like, everything was birthed off of that, so it's quite awful, but it's worth playing at least once. And I did play it once and did beat it. So.
Engraved slates and other ancient texts.
So I'm playing through now with, I want to say, the Barbarian faction. So the Slayer, I believe it was called. So, yeah, I'm going with that one. The second game was quite good, too. I mean, I know a lot of people, most people won't say number 2 was their favorite, but 2 was really good. It was almost as good as 3, in my opinion. And some actually say it was better than 3. I don't know if I'd go that far, but 2 was quite good. It is awful, but it is charming. The rainbow. The terrible sound effects. I struggle through to play it, but it is a good game. Like, I'm not going to sell it short. Like, it's like the granddaddy of them all, basically. So you kind of got to go with it. So, anyway, sorry. All right, done dying. Anyway, Holy, go get some sleep, man. Yeah, the Lux sound effects. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, that's rough. Oh man, it's so bad. And the sprites they're huge and they're awful. You only have 5, so you can't even get all the characters that you could get. So you had to like leave one behind. It was just whatever. It was fine. But yeah, once I finished that up, that was something I was hoping to do before the week of fun and fundraising, however long ago that was. I was hoping to get that done because I wanted to upload that as like a surprise bonus thing, but I wasn't able to get finished with it. And I haven't played it in a while, so I need to go back and play that again. I think I have 2 or 3 maps left before the end. So probably another, I don't know how many episodes. But I did beat it with the Slayer before, I think. It was either the Slayer or I beat it with the Knight. maybe it was the knight. I don't remember. Either way, if I was able to do it once with either one of those two, I should be able to do it again with a Slayer. Like, I don't think magic was as potent in the first game as it is in the second, third, and so on and so forth. So, the dragons and the unicorn. Even the hydras were kind of cute, to be honest.
Some have held revelations of vast importance. If you see any within, oft times age will splinter the slates.
Oh, those expansions are brutal.
Piece of the whole.
I find the expansions in general are just absolutely brutal back in the day. Like, Heroes 2, I beat... Again, this is when I was playing it before I did YouTube. I beat Heroes 2. Thought it was, I was like, that was a pretty good game. Tried the first expansion. Got destroyed. I think I beat Heroes 2. Yeah. Tried the first expansion, and I got absolutely destroyed. It was awful. I felt so dumb. Same thing with HOM 3. I don't know how I'm going to get through the HOM 3 expansions. I get wrecked when I play those. I haven't played them in a while, and I know I've improved in many cases from how I used to play, but I'm really nervous about starting the HOM 3 expansions. Like, very nervous, because they are really difficult. Same thing with HOM 2. So, it's a little bit scary. So what, it was Armageddon's Blade, and then Shadow of Death? I think those are the order. So yeah, I'm horrified to actually start either one of those. HOM 2's expansions or HOM 3's, because they're both real brutal. And, yeah, so who knows? Who knows? Anyway, it looks like the Colonel's thing is auto-hosting me. Hello, 6 viewers from the Colonel. Alright, it is critical to retrieve every piece of the whole. I did, look, they're all here. And they're heavy.
Yes. As the slate is joined together, the text becomes clear.
No, maybe you're right. Yeah, because Armageddon's Blade and the Sword of Frost, the end of the Heroes Chronicles series, those two tie together, and that's where HOM 4. So you might be right on Shadow of Death. I don't actually know, as I think I got wrecked in. All right, if I recall correctly, I got destroyed in HOM 3's Armageddon's Blade with Galoo or whatever his name is. Really bad the first couple times I tried it. And then I was able to get through the first and second map. And then I think I stopped playing. But, like, it was a big struggle for me. So I'm very concerned. Yeah, it is after the events. Yeah, I know. I know that one. And, like I said, Sword of Frost from the Heroes Chronicles, that's how it actually ties together. That bridges the gap from 3 to 4. I didn't realize that Shadow of Death was a prequel, but it makes sense because it was the second expansion. So that's interesting. And does that tie together between 2 and 3? Because let's be honest, HOM 1 had almost no storyline. Oh, the king is dead. There has to be a new king. Fight amongst the other people. Sir Roland is the new king. That's the eventual canon endgame there. That's literally the entire storyline of HOM 1. 5 or 6 of the Chronicle campaigns is a sequel to HOM 1? Really? Trying to think. I know the first 4 are just kind of like a side shoot thing, telling Tarnum's story. And then the 5th one was a fiery tree? And then there was something about a moon. Those were the free ones that you got if you got 2 or 3 of the original 4 games. And then the last 2, I think, tie everything else together. So, yeah, it's interesting, and it's all over the place. The HOM lore is quite crazy. All right.
I will not rest until its meaning is deciphered, sir. For the sake of Brother Jean.
Did you ever get a chance to check out? I think you told me you were checking out some other Let's Plays of HOM 3. Holy, did you ever get a chance to check out the Colonel's Let's Play?
The faith will see it done. In that you may believe.
What is... Oh, that's... Okay.
You have my thanks, Arisen. I shall break the sad news of Brother Jean's sacrifice to Father Geoffrey myself.
They called him
It was
Geoffrey
no fault
before.
of yours, sir. You've done your duty by us well, as the Father shall hear. Pray, do not let it weigh upon your heart. Go and tell Sir Maximilian of our success.
Okay. Thanks for unloading the giant things that you forced me into having. Again, and I'm not gonna bury I'm not gonna bury the Colonel, but his first campaign thing that he did, I don't know if he did the full, like the Restoration of Arathi, whatever the first one was, the Land of the Queen, whatever it was. It's terrible. It is absolutely brutal. You will facepalm the entire time and just go, no, shake your head, pull out your hair. It will drive you insane, but you will probably also laugh hysterically. It is worth watching just for the morbid curiosity factor. He has gotten better in subsequent ones. I gave him a lot of just basic tips and knowledge of you playing the game and figuring out how stuff works. And a lot of other people helped him as well. And I don't... He still says that he's not competent at the game, but he really enjoys playing it. So, there you go. Warlords of the Wasteland, Conquest of Another World, yep. Revolt of the Beastmasters is not in that spot. And Warlords of the Wasteland is maybe a prequel to... Hello, Lucho Cryos. I'm sorry, we're doing Hom debating here. Warlords of the Wasteland makes sense if that is indeed... Like, I would agree, that's probably a prequel to Hom 1. Conquest of the Underworld can't be. Because Roland Ironfist was the guy who won in Hom 1. And he dies, I think, near the beginning of Hom 3? Like, he died before Hom 3 started. And his daughter, Catherine. Isn't it Catherine? I think so. She's, like, kind of the main protagonist in Hom 3, if there is one. And you actually go into the Underworld and Conquest of the Underworld to free her father's soul. And you find out stuff. Like, I just finished Conquest of the Underworld. So that might be a prequel to 3, or it might not be. Like, Roland Ironfist is already dead, so I don't know exactly when. Maybe it's side by side with Hom 3. And then from there, well, she becomes a competent commander through that. So my guess is it's probably also a prequel to 3. Yeah, it can't be, though. So their forums are wrong. That's weird. That's very strange. I could see a lot of these being prequels to Hom 3, but not Hom 1. I could see Warlords of the Wasteland being a prequel to Hom 1. Because Roland Ironfist or Sir Roland, unless in... There were 2 brothers in Hom 2, and I don't remember what their names were. I don't know, I need to play all the games again. I could definitely say Warlords of the Wasteland are. The rest I feel like probably aren't. Yeah, and the Clash of the Dragons... See, because that's not... The Sword of Frost, 100% a sequel. Clash of the Dragons, I feel like... They released in weird order, because the order release, like the way they released, the order that they released it, was Warlords, then it was Conquest of the Underworld, then it was Master of the Elements, and then it followed up with Clash of the Dragons. Then they released the Fiery Moon and the World Tree as bonus things, and those are like half campaigns. And then I had never heard of the Beastmaster, what was it? The Revolt of the Beastmasters and the Sword of Frost I hadn't heard of until I got the collection of it. Oh yeah, I know. I've been to their forums, but I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna have to read what they're saying, because there's no way you can go and free somebody's soul from the underworld or whatever it is, getting captured from paradise, if the guy who you're saving isn't dead yet. So If that's on there, then somebody made a pretty big mistake.
I'll get the weaklings out of the way.
Very strange.
Seal upon it!
Because it is a really good resource.
A goblin in a helm is their chief.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a good resource. I agree with you.
Frenzied!
I agree with you wholly. Like I've looked at Celestial Heaven a few times for stuff, but now seeing that and knowing what I know about the Heroes Chronicles, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So now I'm starting to wonder how much of their their information is accurate now, which is not something I ever wanted to wonder. Thanks, man. You're blowing holes in the place I like to go to get some information. Maybe there's an explanation that they have. Like I'm curious to see what they say, because from what I know to be true, if nothing else, then
What's that?
you're back. Didn't know you were gone, but you're back. Hello, welcome back. But what I know from Conquest of the Underworld alone disproves, unless Sir Roland is not Sir Roland Iron Fist, it disproves that it could possibly be a prequel to HOM 1. Still could be to 3, but no way to HOM
We
1.
have triumphed. It'll take more than that.
Yeah, that's fair. The Warlords of the Wasteland basically told of the barbarian people were kind of like slaves, essentially. They were slaves to the wizards of Bracadum. And way back in the day, there was a barbarian king. He basically ruled the land from sea to sea type thing, right? You know, he ruled everything. And then the
Even in numbers, old King is a weakling
something behind
still.
us?
We have triumphed.
It's weird. Anyway, the wizards basically subjugated them, and you play as Tarnum,
Strength in numbers.
who I guess is like an ancestor of the last king, and he wanted more for his people, and he fought like the leader of the tribe or whatever. Anyway, so he broke free, and he became basically the barbarian king, slaughtering the wizards and everything else. But he took a dark turn and basically became a really bad person. He betrayed people that he knew, that he loved, and it was just quite awful. And in the second part, the second of the Heroes Chronicles games, Conquest of the Underworld, you see what happened to him, or maybe it was at it was the beginning of the game, because like you do a flashback of the history of Tarnum, so you actually see him fall and die at the hands of Roland Iron Fist at the beginning, and then he becomes back as an immortal hero to basically, I don't know, redeem from past sins or whatever. Something along those lines. So the ancestors brought him up there, and they're like, hey, you don't deserve to go on to heaven, even though you did this, and you know, you were a great warrior. You must atone, so we're sending you back. And then, like, the first thing they send him back to do is to go, somebody's soul was taken from paradise and brought down to hell or Eofol or whatever they call it. And he has to go there and free it. And then he finds out that it's Roland Iron Fist, the guy who actually killed him, and then that he was helping his daughter, and then his daughter ended up becoming like his sister's daughter, so it's his niece. So it's weird. It's a cool thing. It's not overly difficult, but there's way more story involved in it. Yeah. Well, I know. I'm not like trying to argue with you necessarily. I'm just trying to let you know what I've seen and what's going on, and you know, just the things that I played recently, that it doesn't make sense. So if it is true, I need to know how they justify it, because from what I just said there, that's pretty much where we left off at the end of Conquest of the Underworld. Was you free it, and you've actually forgiven Roland, and you know Catherine is your niece. And then after all that stuff went down, you just disappeared, and you get called back by the ancestors. Catch! Oh, that actually worked. I didn't think that would work. I literally crushed him with a rock. That's amazing. I know what I should be doing is just returning at this point to the Grand Sorin, but I figured we'd walk around a little bit. Is Grand Sorin near us? Oh, it's actually pretty far away. Yeah, I'm just going to go back to Grand Sorin. There's no point walking in the dark again. We've done enough of that lately. I don't remember exactly what you do in Master of the Elements because I haven't played that recently. But you go back and you have to, like, basically, when you return, you were a knight, essentially. You were like, you were Sir Tarnum and you were in a knight's body and you were using the Haven faction. You'll be a wizard in Master of the Elements. So, it's interesting. I'm very curious to actually go check out Celestial Heaven and see exactly what they say, because to me right now it makes literally no sense.
What meaning do you suppose those stones hold?
Sorry, we're talking about the Heroes of Might and Magic series and just kind of the timeline order of it, Lucho. I know it has nothing to do with Dragon's Dogma. We just kind of got off on a tangent about we were talking about how the expansions are pretty difficult and certain ones are sequels and prequels, and I'm just curious as to whether or not like, I didn't know where Shadow of Frost for HOM 3's the second expansion, where that one, Shadow of Death, where that one sat, and Holy was telling me that that's actually I thought that was a guy. That's a sequel to HOM 3. I was like, oh, see, I didn't know that. It makes sense because Armageddon's Blade and the last part of the Heroes Chronicles series go hand in hand, and they basically lead the events up to where HOM 4 begins. So. Heroes of Might and Magic has a lot of lore, and even the original Might and Magic series has a ton of lore. But a lot of it's just like, I want to say before 5 for sure, the storytelling wasn't the greatest. Let me rephrase that. I haven't played 4. 4 people told me the story is the best, so I don't know. But in 3, the story's there. It's not super deep in my opinion. Again, this is discounting the expansions. Again, I haven't played those yet. Heroes Chronicles was more story driven. It was an easier game, a series of games in general. But 5 is where they really started to, like, there's a narrative that kind of covers the whole thing, and it's brought together. They have voice acting, everything else. Same thing with 6 and 7. So there's definitely more story as the game goes on.
You have my thanks, sir.
And they're modifying it and
Terrible
adding
thing what
to it.
happened to that monk. There was naught for it.
There was not for it.
The faith, as all humankind, are victims in the madness wrought by the dragon's coming.
Indeed.
That fear of the worm should drive a man to die in pursuit of old stones. I forget myself.
Well,
At day's end, the Duke has gained more of the knowledge he so ardently seeks. 'Tis a victory.
don't leave yet.
It will be my honor to show you the ready charges. The choice is yours. This is a high honor, Arisen. See you do not take it lightly. Here are the details. Wondrous tidings, Arisen. The Duke is to grant you an audience. Yeah. His Grace wishes to commend you for your valor and your service to the land. Know, however, that any errand you have taken on will be left to another to complete.
Oh, really?
You will also be asked to return your writ of permission to join the hunt. If you have aught left undone, pray tend to it afore you come to see the Duke, sir. I must be clear.
Okay.
Your audience with His Grace will put an end to any current tasks.
I got that.
You will be asked to
But
return
thank
your
you.
license to the worm hunt.
For clarity. I finished the worm hunt. That's good. I do have other stuff I need
Knowing
to do.
that, are you prepared to see His Grace now?
No.
I see.
Okay. Still, that's good. I mean, we're ready with a main story progression. That's all done. But it's all these side quests and missions that we haven't done yet. The new Magic game? Are you talking like Magic the Gathering? Because I'm not sure.
The rift represents the bond between Pon and Arisen. Do take full advantage.
Okay, I need to do some stuffs here. Let's go to status real quick. I don't know, Magic the Gathering games, they were okay, but I just never really got 100% into them. I don't know if that's the game in particular you're talking about, but like, they were alright. I feel... I don't know. I don't know. I think I even have one. I think I have like 2016 or something on Steam. I played it. It was alright. I'm not very good at them because I don't memorize every card in every deck. The game that I do that in is Dota 2. You know, memorize every hero, every interaction, every item. You know, it's like yesterday. We were playing Dota 2. We won our first game pretty easily, and our second game we were winning, but then we took like 1 or 2 bad fights, which was not the end of the world. We were still okay, but they got to the point where they had basically there's one hero that can do something that's super cheesy. There might even be more than one. There might be 2 heroes that can do it. Anyway, one hero for sure that can do something that's super cheesy, and it's 100% an exploit in the game. Like, you're not going to get banned or anything. It's a thing that's like known in the game, but it's 100% an exploit. Like, it shouldn't work the way it does, yet people do it and it works, and it's annoying. But essentially, they get an item that prevents you from, like, once you take 80% or sorry, you drop to 80% or 75% health, you get like an immunity shield on yourself, and you can't take damage or do damage. But that's fine because this is a support character. And what he does is he goes and he puts this thing called Last Favor or something. I don't remember what it's called, honestly. I almost never play the hero, but False Promise, I think that's what it's called. And essentially you get a bubble around you. You cannot take any more damage during the duration of False Promise. But any healing done to you is magnified by, some percentage. And if you take more damage than healing, at the end of it, you'll die. But if you get some heals off, it's okay. And the class is a healer, Oracle. Well, the exploit is there's a thing called the Urn of Shadows and eventually the Essence Vessel or the Soul Vessel or something like that. And you kill enemies around in battles. Whether you win or lose, you get charges as long as you're in the area when an enemy dies. And then basically you put False Promise on somebody and you throw that charge on that person with False Promise, and it can't be broken. The only way to break the charge that heals them, and it heals them for a decent amount, is to do damage. Since they're under False Promise and they can't have damage done to them until the end, they basically heal up to full every time, no matter how much damage you throw on them. You can't stop the healing. It's a magnified heal, and even if you blew and you did like 20 or 30,000 damage on the target, they would probably still survive the thing and come back at full health. Not just survive, but come back at full health. So you go all in, you almost kill the enemy carry, and then all of a sudden, False Promise, Soul Essence, or whatever it's called, and the heal, and they're literally immune from damage for 5 seconds, and they cannot be killed. And then they come back at full health. So we got cheated. It's just it's an exploit. It's a cheesy thing. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Quite frustrating. I'm like, yep, nope, we're done. We can't do anything here. It's over. It's over. Well, a lot of these are just collect quests. Acquire a skin purse. I don't even know what that means. Somewhere in my drunken revels, I seem to have misplaced my purse. I recall splashing about at our riverside festivus, but the rest is a fog. Should some kind fellow happen upon it, I beg that they would see it back from me. I might be able to find that one. I guess we gotta look at the map now. Is there anywhere that it could show up? Nope. Okay. Well, I guess we can't really do anything. Huh. Okay, let's go back to quests. That would have been nice. Oh, it says region right there, question mark. We need more tokens. We need to kill a lot more rabbits. I need to defeat another ogre in the Abbey vicinity. I don't even know where that is. Bone collection. Yeah. Bury the dead. Dead. Abbey vicinity. Inquire after Valmiro. Deliver a wake stone. Set against the dead. Evil underfoot. Let's set this one. Let's see if we can figure out where the Abbey vicinity is, because I have no idea. We'll probably end up doing it in the next one. The next stream tomorrow. It'll be a little bit earlier too, Holy. So 2 hours earlier than I started today, so about 4 hours earlier than right now. And I know you need to go to bed. I'm going to stop really soon. Do we know where the Abbey vicinity is? Wood, Ancient Quarry, Double Fire Grove, Western Plains. Like, we've obviously been there at some point. We've been there because I have parts of it working. Like, it's... I might just look it up, guys and gals. I'm slightly frustrated with this, with this whole, scenario. As many cool things as this game does, the map is just the worst. It's so bad. I hate the map on this thing. You can't scroll with the scroll keys. You can't click and drag. It's just really, really, really bad. Sea Breeze Trail. Yeah, I don't know where it's at, and it's not appearing on my radar either. You would think that it could potentially... Frontier Caverns. I don't even know where that is. I think that potentially it could be like near the Cursewood, but I don't think so. There's stuff we need to do in the catacombs still. I don't know. Alright, I think I'm going to break it off here.